Let me begin with a truth most people never dare to face. Poverty is not measured by the coins in your pocket or the balance in your bank account. True poverty lives in the way we think. I have seen two people walking the same path, working the same hours, earning the same wage, and yet one breaks free, building wealth, choices, freedom, while the other remains stuck, chained to the same struggles, year after year. What separates them is not fate, it is not luck, it is not even talent. It is a hidden mindset, a way of seeing money, opportunity, and themselves that changes everything. What is the difference? The difference is not luck. It is not even talent. The difference is financial education, knowing the rules of money that schools never teach. Most parents never pass these lessons on. Not because they do not care, but because they never learned them themselves. Meanwhile, the wealthy quietly live by these rules every single day, teaching them to their children, while the rest of the world is left to figure it out the hard way. Until you learn those rules, until you change how you think about money, you will work hard your whole life and still wonder why you cannot get ahead. Today, I want to share with you these untold principles so you can break free from that trap, so you can learn to never be poor again. Principle 1. Schools do not teach the game of money. Let us face it, our schools prepare us to work for money, but they never teach us how money truly works. You can graduate top of your class and still not know the difference between an asset and a liability. You can study for decades and still never understand taxes, never understand debt, never understand how to build wealth. And that is not an accident. If everyone knew the truth about money, the system would change. The poor and middle class are taught one thing: get a good job, work hard, save money, invest in mutual funds. But here is the problem. Money today is no longer backed by gold. It is just paper. Governments can print more of it, faster than you can ever work for it. So how can saving alone make you rich? When the value of money is always shrinking, it cannot. That is why we need a different approach. Principle 2. The rich do not work for money. Here is the next truth. The rich do not work for money. In fact, my mentor once told me, if you learn to never work for money, you will become a rich person. Why is that? Because the moment you work for a paycheck, you start thinking like an employee. Your mind stops looking for opportunities. You exchange hours for dollars, and you believe that is the only way. But the wealthy, they learn early on to think differently. They think in terms of assets. They know that real wealth is not about working harder. It is about creating systems that generate income, even while you sleep. Principle 3. Learn the language of assets and liabilities. Here is a simple lesson that changed my life. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out. It is not complicated. But here is what is shocking. Most people think their home is their greatest asset. They believe a bigger house means they are doing better. Yet month after month, the house is draining cash. For mortgages, taxes, repairs. That is not an asset. True assets are things like rental properties that bring cash in, businesses that generate profits, investments that grow in value. So the path to wealth is simple. Stop buying more liabilities. Start acquiring assets. Principle 4. Understand taxes and income types. Most people never realize that their biggest expense in life is taxes. But because taxes are automatically deducted, they never question it. Here is what the rich understand. Not all income is taxed the same. There are 3 types of income. Earned income from a job or profession. This is taxed the highest. Portfolio income from investments or capital gains. Passive income from assets like rental properties or royalties. And here is the secret. Passive income often has the lowest tax rate, sometimes 0. That is why wealthy people focus on building assets that produce passive income. They play by the same tax laws as everyone else. They have just learned how to use them. Principle 5. Avoid debt or use debt as a tool. For most people, debt feels like a trap. It keeps them stuck, working just to cover interest payments. And, as I explained in my other lectures and videos, for most people it will be the best to avoid debt altogether. But what most people don't know is that for the wealthy, debt is a tool. Banks lend money to those who know how to use it, to buy cash-flowing assets. You can borrow to purchase properties, build businesses, invest in opportunities. And when done wisely, you pay little to no taxes because you are providing housing, jobs, and growth for the economy. While the average person says, "I cannot afford it," the wealthy ask, "How can I afford it?" That simple shift in thinking opens doors most people never even see. Principle 6. Overcome fear of mistakes and rejection. Another reason people stay poor. They fear making mistakes. They fear failing. But the truth is, wealth is built by learning from failure, not avoiding it. Every wealthy person I know has been rejected countless times. They have been turned down for loans. They have lost money on deals. They have made big errors. But instead of saying, "I cannot do this," they ask, "What can I learn from this so I can try again?" Failure is not the end. It is the tuition you pay for wisdom. Principle 7. Develop financial intelligence. To never be poor again, you need more than money. You need financial intelligence. This means understanding how money really works, knowing how to read numbers and financial statements, learning how cash flows in and out of your life. Financial intelligence is not taught in schools, but you can teach yourself. You can read books, find mentors, study real-life lessons. Because here is the truth. You do not need money to make money. You need knowledge to make money. And once you have that knowledge, you can create wealth from nothing. So let me leave you with this. Poverty is not a life sentence. It is not passed down by blood. It is passed down through mindset, through the words we speak, the beliefs we hold, the fears we never challenge. To never be poor again, you must change how you think. Stop working only for money. Learn the difference between assets and liabilities. Understand taxes and use the rules to your advantage. Turn debt into a wealth-building tool. Embrace mistakes as stepping stones. And most importantly, develop financial intelligence that no school will ever teach you. Because the rich are not rich, because they are lucky. They are rich.